Lord, welcome back to the CCL. We're jumping into our second match of the evening, still sticking with the Southeastern Division. This one not as interesting when it comes to playoff implications as far as making it, but it very well could hold implications as far as the seeding goes. Full Sail Armada, currently number two. Only team they've lost to thus far has been the number one team in the division of the Eagles, COD team out of Georgia Southern. It was a game 5. Then for the opposite side, though, for the University of Tennessee, it was a rough start for these guys here, Austin. A couple of really unfortunate game 5s that they weren't quite able to pull out. But as of late, it's been nothing but W's for the Volunteers.
Yeah, and they're again fighting for the best seating they can possibly get going in towards this match. And this is obviously a very stacked one because you mentioned that FSU has only lost to the Eagles. Well, the Eagles are number one. They're undefeated. They have yet to lose in this particular division for us. So in the Southeast, it's a very interesting little mix, I think, of players that we got because we come off of some of the 6th and 7th, 8th seeds, and there's a lot of stacked rosters that are fighting for the spot. But you look at this team as a whole, and I look at FSU in particular as a team that, very likely could have taken that map number 5 off of the Eagles and
Yeah.
very likely could be, flipped around for as far as that first seed, and they could be the undefeated ones. And this team has been so dominant, and talking about dominant, they are amazing in domination in particular. I don't think they have lost a single actual game mode in that in domination itself. But we will take a look at the rosters, of course, for Full Sail Armada. We're going to have Fluffy, Phoenix, Razam, Sneaky, and Velux.
No, I had a chance late last night. I was streaming. We're finally getting the understanding that it's Prism, not Prizam or Prizam or whatever it happens to be. It's been a full season of mispronouncing his name. But it's on him. Let's be honest. Make your name more legible and readable for us to, this is a paralysis situation on a Concord. I swear to you. But like you mentioned, for Full Sail, they've been incredible in the domination, and that bodes very unwell for the side of UTK. You really, really need to find a way to try to battle up against them. And on the opposite side, for the Volunteers, the University of Tennessee, these guys, like we mentioned, had a really rough start to their season. But if we take a look at their roster, they were able to put together a really solid 5 and really start to work themselves out. A lot of scrims in the early parts of the season has led them to finding a lot of success between Stainless, Connor, Slim, Goose Fava, and Short. These guys, again, it was a lot of Stainless last we talked about. He was the guy that really needed to go off if the team wanted to have a chance. This year, he's got a much better supporting cast, and I think everyone's taking a look at Connor as far as what he's been able to do with every single weapon. Not just an AR, but he picks up an MP5, and he's also just as successful with that. And that's one of the big reasons why UTK has found some good favor versus other really strong teams in the Southeast.
I agree. Flex players in this game are really making the difference in how strong your team really is. I mean, you look at the Huntsman having someone like Arcades who's able to wield an M4 just as well as he is with an actual submachine gun, and that plays the difference. So watching Connor in towards the matchup, definitely a big one. You mentioned they also have a little bit of a rough start towards the season, but now looking to get things on track, and they find themselves overall at 15th. And that's a pretty good spot to be in for a shift. So the squad looking to get it done, but we will take a look at the map set coming through here for us. Will be AZHIR Cave, Hardpoint, St. Petrograd, Search and Destroy, Gunrunner Domination, back over to another St. Petro Hardpoint, and then we'll finish off with another Piccadilly Search and Destroy.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this first AZHIR Cave come through. Again, for UTK, can you match up versus the ARs of Full Sail, who really have been sitting there and doing a lot of the work on big open maps like AZHIR Cave, especially in the Search and Destroys as well. And I actually really enjoy that UTK finds themselves on map 2 St. Petra. Again, their SMGs have been really, really good in the apartment complex, specifically by that A bomb site. So can they find some ways to get over this Full Sail squad? The Gunrunner Domination, it's going to be interesting. I think, we talk a lot about how this map doesn't really have necessarily a hard set favorite side. You can do a very good job of controlling 2 flags from either the C or the A as your home flag. So for me, it's just going to come down to, can UTK match up against the pace of the Full Sail Armada? So it'll be interesting to see AZHIR Cave first, mostly because, again, it is very much so dictated by those rotations between hills. Like we like to talk about a lot here, Austin. It's not just getting the hill spawns, but can you find a way halfway through these hard points to get yourself set up for a favorable rotation? Because if you're not in a position to hold down where you need to be to go from one hill to another, you're essentially only forced as the opposite team to go all the way around the outside of the map, and that path is extremely long.
It's very long, but to touch on this AZHIR cave, FSU has not lost an AZHIR cave this far in towards the season. They have looked fantastic. It gets vetoed out a lot of the times up against them because of how dominant they are. But you take a look at the overall KDs, and that's what amazes me is there's a couple of teams that stand out in the league for a shift that just have crazy KD stat lines across the board. You look at this one, you have 1.63 for Danger, Velux 1.34. Those are some of the highlighted ones, and then the other players, of course, just above 1.10. You look at Phoenix, who's the hard carry in the hill. He has a negative KD, but he's averaging almost 2 minutes in the hill every single game. That's massive. And this is just showing us how well-rounded the composition is for this team, because when you have somebody that's able to play the hill time, able to do the dirty work for you, along with 4 slayers potentially that can all go off around you, makes it very easy for you. The AR play going to be a big factor for us. They're undefeated on AZHIR cave. We'll have to watch and see if they can continue to keep that record undefeated going into map 1.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Again, it's going to be down to what happens with the AR department specifically. And for me, for UTK, what do you have up your sleeve to potentially open up with a favorable first 2 hills? That is, again, the big key. If you could start this map off with a favorable first 2 hills, you put yourself up by 40, 50, 60 points before you go to P3. It gives you the opportunity to kind of relax a little bit and play for the rotations on your own decision making. You go down by that margin and you feel like you're forced to play everything perfectly from 3 to 4, because the game could still potentially get out of reach very early in the first rotation. We've seen it a number of times across all levels of competitive Call of Duty. AZHIR Cave is a map that can get very, very streaky, mostly because your 3rd and 4th hill, there's not necessarily a good spawn for either of those hills. You can find a way to contest it from either inside the cave system or outside by hen house for P4 specifically. And for P3, you're either spawning on one side of soccer field or the other. It's literally the definition of what a 50-50 could look like. So that's what I'm most interested for UTK is, can you start off with a solid first 2 hills and put the pressure on Full Sail early?
I think the other big factor for me coming into towards this is, how much practice do these teams have? Because we come off of a little bit of a break here with a couple of weeks off, and you either take that as time to be able to go through and try to grind out some of these maps that maybe you're not looking great on, looking to really clean things up. Because I always like to think as you get towards the end of the season, this is where you're really starting to step things up. This is where you're starting to fix those minor mistakes that you have, and you start to get on the same page, get on track for getting the best seed possible for playoffs. Well, here we go. Full Sail Armada up against UTK Esports as we fight things off.
And it will be the correct logos up. Your colors a touch backwards for you. So Full Sail will be in the orange. I guess they definitely have orange in their logo as well. So it doesn't really make too much of a difference. UTK not able to find the opening group that they wanted, though, as a couple players who just spawned in the cave system look a little bit lost on where they want to go. And Phoenix, he mentioned his presence in the hill. He's actually on the flank, will be taken down with a little bit of unfortunate timing on the mantling. But Full Sail Armada for right now, doing a nice job of holding down this first hard point relatively convincingly.
Great job off the start. Again, this is what we see a lot on this map. Overall, the team that has the unfavorable side usually collects the majority of the time off of that first hill, and you can put yourself in a good spot going into P2. Fluffy as God looks to fight his way through and does find a couple of kills. Slim in the back now holding on to the big spawns coming in for our P2 rotation. But while all this happens, there's no pressure on towards the hill. So essentially, this is just free time picked up for Full Sail Armada, and this is going to put them in a pretty decent spot coming up here, just over 40 points, moving in now for a break to P2.
And again, for UTK, you have to corral yourself here on this second hard point. You need essentially at least 40 seconds worth of hill time here, if not a full 60. Stainless will find 2 up front. 1 player pushing through concrete. Connor will take care of him. Looking for more potentially through this yellow cut. You'll find 1 looking for a second. It's an aggressive angle. Eventually he gets taken off of it, but he allows his teammate time to respond, and to put that, UTK open up the first 20 seconds relatively easily.
Good smoke that's dropped for FSU as they try to run across. Slim is unable to get any lines of sight and might just opt in to rotate. Does back up, finds Sneaky, so that's going to be a big kill like you mentioned. That's 5 down. So this is a full 60 that ends up coming through for UTK Esports despite a couple of seconds of points that weren't collected due to the push. So FSU are going to just trail behind, moving in towards the soccer field. They are here first, but there's a lot of players that have already snuck through. You can see it, and now the setup that was supposed supposed to be there for FSU is no longer anymore, as UTK has moved their way right in towards the soccer field.
And because the second hardpoint's still active, look where Full Sail's spawning. They're actually spawning P4. Again, the spawns move depending on which hardpoint is active. So Full Sail, because they lost these gunfights mid-map, it's a 50-50 contest battle on the hill itself. It's going to be Seashore who's the player here, trying to hold time for as much as possible for UTK, but eventually Full Sail get themselves on their horses and right back over to the soccer field, and with that, a number of kills turn up in their favor. Fluffy finds the head of 2 players for a double. Will eventually be shut down, but Full Sail will eventually take control of this third hardpoint.
Basically, the Fluffy is God versus Condog battle at the moment. Everybody else trailing a little bit behind. We'll watch him watch this long line to sight over towards the head glitch that every AR player runs to. But this is going to be the scrap time. Should be picked up. Up top is a fight. Fluffy will win the battle against Condog. Also wins the battle that who will pat the most stats by the end of the game. Slim's going to find a rotation over towards this next hill for us. So small margin lead built up for UTK Esports as we move in towards B4.
And Stainless, a big role for him to play here. He's got to dig through this smoke and find a couple of kills. He takes down 1. He looks for a trophy system behind him, but I believe it got taken down just by the sheer number of nades that were being thrown out from the UTK Volunteers. And with that, the P4 spawns at the hen house will go in favor of UTK, plus the kills behind it. Seashore able to take down 1 more before he eventually takes out a teammate. 1 more good hit here potentially for Full Sail off this attempt, and they've got numbers to potentially break on through. Damage through the woodwork for Fluffy, but he's forced to back away, and now we go again to a little bit of a standoff on either side of the hard point, but Fluffy is just holding his life for as long as humanly possible in the hill, and he's generated some significant time here for the Full Sail Armada, who continue to put on a good amount of pressure here at P4.
No one's grabbing the time. That was like 10 seconds that was not picked up for either one of these teams. It's still not being picked up as Stainless finally moves on towards it. So this is not too bad whatsoever for the side of FSU, because of course they're now cutting off the players that are moving in. That's 3 big rotation kills. 4 now that actually come out, but they're still going to get the good spawn. So that is just going to be all the players from FSU now moving right back out to where they were. Hill time is picked up as Phoenix shows us a little bit of a new spot on where you can actually collect the time, and this might give them enough room to start to grab recontrol of this lead as they start to move up, but FSU shutting down the first push.
Yeah, first hit not successful for the University of Tennessee. Connor tries to go for a little bit of an aggressive peek just to find one little bit of silver lining with the kills. Now it's going to be down to a split hit, 2 up the middle, 2 from the back end, from the bridge for the Volunteers. Full Sail still spawning behind Broken. Velux able to come back through and find himself a double. Phoenix able to assist. The SMGs winning out the hill here rather convincingly for the side of the Armada. Connor trying to work on through with an AR, knows where the last player is, finds the kill, and it looks like with that, Full Sail Armada, who are spawning in the cave system, are not going to be able to have a chance to recontest this scrap time, so we will go after our first rotations into our second set, looking at a very marginal UTK lead.
UTK, they have the side they want going in towards our next rotation. Condog finds a couple up top, could find Prism in the broken area as well as he tries to slip through, but Condog will let no man slip by. Big play from him to make sure they hold on to the spawns. He's also on a 5 spree, 24 and 9. Looks to turn and burn, almost finds Sneaky, but shots do end up coming through for him as Velux Sneaky try to maneuver in towards the first hill, of course, for us. That has been picked up, the majority of it, over towards FSU, but UTK Esports keeping the pressure on, doing a good job of being spread out across the map and making sure no one slips by to flip out the spawns for our next hill.
Kill there for a moment as Stainless actually gets credit for the team kill on Seashore. It was a 2v1 against Fluffy in the cave system. Now Stainless will move his way forward. Will lose his first gunfight. Goose playing for the last bit of scrap time of the hill will not win his gunfight, so Full Sail Armada will take the final 5 seconds, you would figure. It'll marginalize to about 140 to 106, but again, UTK did a really decent job this last time around on P2, but with how many players are currently playing mid-map, nobody's soaking up the hill time at the moment. Stainless doesn't want to give up his position. Slim doesn't really want to either, and with that, a couple of big gunfights go the way of UTK, and finally they'll slip on into the hill, and Stainless is not done yet. He's on 5 straight, just holding down this cave system.
Oh my
Give
God.
him 6, looking for 7, will eventually be team shot down, but a big moment there for Stainless, the SMG player for the Volunteers, now up to 27 and 17.
Well, here's the problem. FSU have 30 seconds left on this hill. They maybe want to hit this one more time, but it's so hard to fight through this. We have a nice snap that does drop onto one of the AR players. However, Stainless is holding strong on the hill. They're stacking up the time, and this is the problem. FSU go for one last hit. It's going to give a little bit of breathing room, and look at player number 6. Stainless is thinking ahead. He's going for the full wraparound, likely through the cave. Actually going to come out in the yellow entrance on the other side near the middle. So not going for the full wrap, but this is no means a spawn trap that the side of UTK is stuck in. So they're going to have some room to fight out. This also gives them a 17-point lead moving into soccer field.
Stainless has single-handedly flanked the hill. He will be taken down. The pinch timing not quite there because FSA had a number of players still sitting outside the bridge and in yellow. Both players will be dealt with, but it creates a lot of space for the Armada to come back off their respawn while soaking up some pretty decent time here on our soccer field. They'll retake the lead. 160, 157. Phoenix, you mentioned how much time he's able to accumulate in the hill. He's up to a minute 20, plus now he's finding extra kills. Only 10 and 20 in the KD department, but he's doing a nice job for his team to soak up that hill time. It will be contested, and a number of players here for the Volunteers want to commit for this scrap time. They don't want to give 20 seconds up, where the Full Sail Armada have rotated 4 players into the cave system, looking for a much more complete hold here on the 4th point of this cave west.
Fluffy lays down, and they're going to be in position, but last time UTK was the ones that were on this side of the map trying to hold the time. Breaking through, as that will be big kills from Prism, shuts down 2, Sneaky, and Phoenix also able to win their one-on-one gunfight. So UTK Esports going to have to regain and try and rethink their next push. Coming in towards Cave West, they're going to enter in now. C-Short right behind his sub player, but everybody on the side of Full Sail Armada are just cleaning up house. The flank comes through in the back, but this might just give the good spawns now to Full Sail Armada going forward in towards our Cliff Hill. So overall, this actually favors FSA massively going forward in towards our next hill tier shift.
Yeah, they're spawning right on top of the big table in the back. This is, again, able for them not only to get the rotational spawns, but also to re-hit this hill very quickly. A number of good contest moments here, though, for UTK. Goose able to take down 2 from the small cave. Looking for a 3rd. He's focusing his attention on the trophy system. We'll now see the components that he needs to find, which is actually Velux. He will be traded. The final 13 seconds will go the way of the University of Tennessee. Now looking at what will be just around the 200-point mark to 183 for Full Sail. But again, most importantly, their Armada are here on the rotation, and they're set up exactly where they want to be.
This is going to be a big kill. Fluffy does find the first sub player trying to move through. He challenges out, could find 3. Trade's good for Slim. So close spawn comes through for yellow for the side of UTK Esports. They have to, again, try and have a coordinated push on towards this hill. Last time, Full Sail held the majority of this time. Stuns are being thrown down. Stainless and Short find 2 entry kills, but have to find a few more. Condog fights for the back broken control, or rather the back useless control, but that will be all orange in the feed. 5 down. Push is gonna come to a halt. UTK Esports have to fight over this last 30 seconds, but Full Sail are in position to give themselves a comfortable lead moving in towards the reset of the hills.
A mistake of a hit there for UTK. They're coming from the cave, but they don't send anyone through dark. Everyone just essentially pushes up into the sandbags or through that mid-cut, and it's just too easy to deal with if your FSA Fluffy going to the knife will get taken down. A couple players saying, watch out behind you, but it's going to be 234-ish to 197. Still a very close game. Connor, a big 1v1 outside by the bridge. He'll lose that to Velux, but it's Slim who's currently in the hill, soaking up some time for UTK. The trophy system comes down right in the nick of time, as it really saves his life. A number of members of the Volunteers still surrounding by yellow and by the garage, but none of them finding kills. So for Full Sail Armada, they're looking to use this numbers advantage to break on in, and they will do just that with a 5-man wipe.
Yes, they had the 5-man wipe at 6 straight in a row. They have to contest the hill. It's only going to be another 10 seconds that Full Sail have to pick up. Slim almost has to run on in there just to get to the contest point, but look who's holding it. Sneaky's holding the close corner. Will grab himself a big 2-piece. They have to touch. They will get in there for the time being, but can they hold? 2 seconds have to be picked up. No one able to grab that last player off of the hill. So Full Sail Armada will hold strong in the last few moments of our AZHIR Cave hardpoint and will remain flawless on this map.
Tight moments there. A number of times the Volunteers were right in this game, and in fact were controlling it really throughout that first rotation. They looked extremely solid, and Stainless finds 36 kills. Connor with a 39 and 21 stat line. But again, it comes down to the sheer amount of hill time that was accumulated. Phoenix He goes 18 and 28, but it almost finds 2 minutes and 15 seconds worth of hill time. And you just take that value and look down below to UTK. No one getting above a minute 20. That was really the big difference maker. There was a couple of pivotal moments really on P5 and P4 where Full Sail Armada just did a better job of manipulating that cave system, going from 4-5 to 1 again.
And when you have a player like Phoenix who's able to just sit on the hill like you and like this and soak up all this time, I feel like players like this are really overlooked because of their stat line. Yeah, he averages, a 1.8 KD, but when you need someone to be soaking up that time, you need somebody to be throwing themselves at the hill. And this is the player for the side of a Full Sail that's doing this. You look at the other side and you see crazy stat lines, you see crazy numbers and kills put up, but who's really grabbing the time? Who's getting those big important kills? That's a big factor of hardpoint, and those big important kills come on rotations, they come on breaking setups, they come on winning one-on-ones, and overall they were slaying out a lot of kills that maybe didn't actually mean much or didn't amount to anything. So overall, it's Full Sail just showing us why they are undefeated on this map, how they're able to clutch up, find the favorable spawns going in towards P5. They do it both times, and that's just great job for them. So big plays come through, and now we got to start thinking about our next map coming up, which will be St. Petrograd.
And again, I feel like you're going to enjoy this map if you're UTK, simply down to the fact that, again, if their SMGs continue to play at the level that they just did, you should find a lot of good engagements in close quarters across the A and middle portion of the map, whether you're on offense or defense. That's really kind of what I'm looking at here for the University of Tennessee. Can they utilize these SMGs and turn it into good map positioning? And of course, extra pressure on that A bomb site, whether it is defensively or offensively, doesn't make a difference. If you're winning that A site convincingly, it's going to force Full Sail to really make a couple of weird decisions as far as, do we just go over to B offensively if we can't win these gunfights, or how do we even break through this A bomb site and start to win it back against its SMG presence that UTK had just previously showed? Again, if Stainless keeps playing at this level, this is going to be a very scary volunteer team here on St. Petro Surge.
I think the best thing about this map too is that there's so many different ways that you're able to play this map out, and we see some teams that are playing very aggressive over towards the A bomb site, try to get in there fast, get some trophies down so the nades aren't blowing up the cars, and you just try and get your subs in there as fast as possible. But there's so many different ways to play this. The sniper play is a big factor in the long range cross that comes through. We also see hits all the time up the middle of the map with the smokes, and some machine gun players are able to get into positions that you just wouldn't naturally expect a lot of the times. And meanwhile, there's a bomb on the other side of the map that we tend to forget about because of how deep it is into the defensive spawn that you can also play to along that river flank. So there's a lot of openings, a lot of different ways that you can play it, and I think we have seen Full Sail Armada on stream before playing out St. Petrograd Search and Destroy, and they have a clear-cut way of how they like to play Search, and that's usually stacking up with their ARs in the middle of the map and then getting some of these submachine gun players like Deluxe that are able to get up close and personal, get some of this control in towards this A bomb site. And UTK need to find a response for this. They need to be able to problem solve on the fly because this is a big matchup for them. Again, trying to solidify themselves in the best seed possible coming in towards playoffs, which is coming up very, very quickly.
Very soon. Yeah, again, it'll be about a month's time, but again, this is big for the side of UTK. If they can find a win here versus Full Sail, it'll push them up to a top 5 seed most likely, if not potentially higher than that. And again, after they had been essentially reverse swept, I believe, by the University of Alabama, they drop a heartbreaker to Mississippi State and Ole Miss back to back. They also drop a heartbreaker to LA Tech. It's been essentially nothing but victories from there on out. They beat Florida State convincingly. They beat Arkansas convincingly. They take care of ULL convincingly. And this is really one of their last, this actually is their last big test, really for both of these teams. They both have this matchup, and then they both play Concord Gray, which you figure both of these teams shouldn't have a problem there to finish out their season with the W. But you talk about the potential of UTK finishing off this season with a potential 12-5 in their win-loss record. That would be massive for them, rocking up to potentially, like I mentioned, a top 4 spot in the Southeast, which would be huge when it comes to the seeding for the bracket.
And I actually feel like this is a must win for this series right here for UTK, because if you go into domination shift, we know this team, they're so good. And when you have a 15-0 record, I believe is what they have currently in this game mode, it's so difficult to be able to go into this like, all right, guys, we got this, trying to get the good vibes going, because they're so talented on it. But this is definitely a must win in my eyes for UTK, and they do have a decent track record. I believe about a 72% win rate overall in the search and destroy game mode. We'll have to see if they can stack that up a little bit further into this matchup. But here we go. Map number 2, ladies and gentlemen, Full Sail Armada, currently 1-0 up. UTK Esports desperately need to bounce back before domination.
So we'll be Full Sail looking to make an aggressive push here to A. A lot of really good stuns and nades coming into the back arch. I don't think it found anything, and Velux very fortunately saves his teammate's life. Phoenix finds one more, and with the numbers advantage, Full Sail will immediately start to plant the bomb, and the position that Phoenix has found himself in is a massive one, because he can lock down this entire apartment alleyway. It's just down now to Goose Fava, and well, he's going to get swarmed here from every single angle. We'll find one kill, but that'll be it. Full Sail Armada with the gas early, finding a very quick first round.
Yeah, did they ever get aggressive and rush on in there? You can see all the players just completely backtracking 180 there for the side of UTK Esports. So great first round that comes through. So we'll flip sides. We'll go over to UTK Esports and see if they're going to opt into changing things up as scoreboard strikes again. So we'll get to take a look at the scores likely until that either fixes itself or gets herself in towards the final actual scoreboard. So here we'll go. We're seeing if there's no sniper play coming in, it looks like, for the side of UTK Esports, but they're looking to follow suit with what Full Sail just did and make that same push over to A.
Got extra nade pressure coming through. Sneaky will take down Goose. Connor has found his way into the bomb site. A couple of teammates helping him out while they take down Phoenix, who wanted to get aggressive for the trade kill. Just like that, now it's a 4v2 for UTK, although watch out for Velux in the back. He'll take down one, has an opportunity for a second. A couple of shots will graze the elbow as Slim. But again, with the numbers, the bomb will be planted here. Prism sniping up top, will not find the kill. He went to the pistol for it. Now it's just down to Velux for a 1v3, plus a defuse needed for him to clutch the round. And he's going to be working this from the backside of the apartment complex, and these shots will give away his position. Although he does find one kill, it's just down to Stainless to keep kind of essentially shouldering up the top side of the apartments. And Slim will be here to help him. Not going to need the help, as UTK will bounce back with their own successful offensive hit today.
Yeah, it's still a little bit interesting. If that player loses that gunfight, you isolate now a 1v1 after this. So I think this was maybe just sound whoring. Stainless felt confident to challenge out, get the camera angle as he was running up the stairs. Either way, he still comes out on top with a kill. So tying things up, both teams having successful offensive pushes over towards the A bomb. Likely going to see that again follow suit on a map like St. Petrograd, where the opposite bomb site is just so far away. You only ever see late rotations towards it, or you see sometimes the late flank with the bomb carrier just holding strong towards that riverside. But this is going to be the same hit for Full Sail. We'll see them try and push on through. Smokes being thrown out, tacticals and nades being dropped for information. A few extra members trying to hold on to the defensive hold here. Player up top is going to find himself one. Sneaky also finds a team kill. So now that's going to be 3 down for the side of Full Sail Armada for V2.
Love the adaptation here for UTK. They say, you guys want to get aggressive, and hey, we'll send a couple players mid-map while also making sure we just hold on to the apartments. Prism to the pistol, knows that he's got people all around him. We'll see one at range, and the do not walk sign is giving him a little bit of a reconsideration as far as how he wants to play it. Prism for 2. He's got an opportunity for the third. Woo, if he hits that quick scope, my monitor might fly out my window, because I absolutely got out of my seat for a second there.
Holy, I'm pretty sure he just had to put that last bullet in there, Shift, where the shot would have actually went off, because he snapped on him. You can see it. He was right in the crosshairs, just couldn't get the shot off in time. So luckily enough, that player ends up finding that big kill. UTK Esports going to pull ahead by 1, shut down the offensive push that comes through for Full Sail, as now we'll switch back sides, and this might just be another continued hit, as it looks like it's going to be, of course, the favored push in towards A. Sniper play was a factor in our last round. Don't think it's one in this round at the very least, at least for the side of UTK, but they're actually playing this one a little bit slower, waiting for the push, and there's a player number 4 that ends up flanking through. Big gunfight comes in, and actually Prism wins it and gives his team the man advantage.
I said there's 4 dead silences available for UTK. If Goose finds that opening kill, I would have 100% expected them to start making a rotation to B, but now that they've lost that mid-map pressure, it's just down to, will they read these 2 players coming through this top apartment complex? Prism will find another pick, and now it's just down to Seashore on the rails. He needs to try to lock things up. Prism finds another, will eventually be traded, but the damage has been dealt as Full Sail Armada is looking at a 4v2 in their favor with only 37 seconds left to play.
Prism found 3 in this round for his life. This is just so much value from this player that you're getting that goes for this flank and wins his one-on-one and opens up to now a very miscoordinated round for UTK Esports as they're still in their spawn with 25 seconds left. Gondog looks like he hears a player top bar and he might just find the kill, or maybe he'll slip right by. Nice snap, but still you have to get in towards. Oh, really died to full damage. Oh my God, Gondog. After that one, it looks good for the first, but not a really good finish on the landing, and I have to rethink that one. See short, no time to clutch this one out. Nice snap from him again. So the player's on fire with the shot, but just again, a little bit of miscoordination on where they were actually trying to attack and just couldn't do it in time.
2-2 we go. Very tight search and destroy so far. Both teams offering a lot when it comes down to this A bomb site. And again, with UTK, they had so many dead silences available. If they just win that gunfight, if Goose takes that first 1v1, that may have been our first look over to B. This round through, a couple dead silences available for both of our squads as Full Sail Armada will take the rollout immediately towards the Riverwalk and this blue square. Prism with the bomb, interestingly enough, has moved over from Sniper to SMG, and it's really going to be down to number 8. It's Slim on the backside of Flowers. He's going to have to read this with C-Short. Pardon me, actually Slim closer. It's C-Short on the top side of Flower. And I think both players have realized nothing's coming A, so we'll just stack ourselves up on the backside of B. A couple of shots have rang out, and now it's just down to for UTK. How do you rotate away from A to get over and help out the B bomb site?
Sneaky has a kill. He's got good positioning. Takes down the very first one of the round. 45 seconds to try and work with it. It's all orange.
No.
Condog finally responds with one. Stainless also with one onto Fluffy. So 3v2, 40 seconds to work with. Full Sail Armada holding strong around this bomb site. Velux is going to pick that back up. And now Stainless has his hands full in a 1v3.
He saw the player, I think, sneak over to the bomb site, though, so he's going to get the kill just before it gets planted. Second one lined up, and if he finds the kill and he can get away with his life, there's opportunity for the 1v3, but Full Sail, just too many numbers. Sneaky responds to this very nicely, watching Stainless with his gun up. Running through the smoke, no problem there, and Full Sail find our first successful B attack.
I almost wanted to see the ninja diffuse come through there. It almost felt like there was a perfect opportunity to try and get it done, but does not go for it. Tries to get a kill and gets out, gets shut down. Full Sail take the lead by the round. 3-2 is the score. Back to offense, we will go for UTK Esports. Struggling to find a good push into A, but they'll try it here again. That's Fluffy that ends up with first blood on the Condog, who has a very unfavorable challenge. Velux rolls on through with a good follow-up stun. Fluffy finds a second, and well, UTK Esports find themselves in yet another hole, fighting from a disadvantage in a 2v4.
Yeah, that was not it for UTK. Slim is going to be forced to find 2, and he does. Are you kidding me? C-Short helping from above. Prism is trying to flank, and he will find the kill just before what looked to be an angle that he would have been able to find on the Sneaky. Slim now forced to take the close quarters battle, which he'll lose, and now Full Sail Armada up 4-2. But again, Austin, I go back to how that opening hit comes through for UTK. It's just not correct. The smoke can touch too far. Everyone cuts the archway, and it's just easy gunning for the player top apartment with an AR.
And in 5v5s, you have to have someone dedicated to running a trophy. I'm not sure if there is a player that's running one here for the side of UTK Esports, but it's a crucial factor for the simple fact that you see those nades, those stuns that come through. All these players essentially just have to prone and try and wait out the stun timer. And by that time, you already have all these players rolling on in for you. So 4-2, couple rounds in a row for Full Sail as they'll look to continue this dominance into round number 7. They're going to have a full open site. No one really here to contest it. Condog might have gotten caught throwing a nade, doesn't find the trade, and Phoenix opens up for first blood.
It's going to have to come down to the retake off this flank for UTK. They've done a decent job of holding off the plant for now. Fluffy trying to stretch this one forward. We'll see a smoke come through the archway and wants to see if he can get a cheeky corner peek as the smoke essentially just finds itself in covering in a circle around him. But again, the bomb not planted yet. Looking for more picks. Phoenix trying to work his way through the boxes. Fluffy falls in the apartment complex, and now it's a 4v2 for UTK. They've got control of the flank, and they'll surely take this defense as it's just down to Velux. You will find one kill, but nothing beyond that. 4-3 the score.
Said it came down to the retake. Well, UTK Esports found themselves a very strong retake on towards A. All the players get kind of caught on transition as T-Short finds the jump shot, takes down that final kill as 4 members just pouring down bullets on this player in the boxes area. So good response. You don't want to go down 3 in a row by any means. The Full Sail. Again, this is also a very big win in this map number 2 for me. UTK Esports, they go down 2-0 to a team that has not lost a domination. You almost think it might just be a 3-0 sweep that ends up coming through. So the fact that they're fighting back is very crucial. And this is also the first time we've seen a team change things up on our offensive round. This looks like a push over towards the B bomb site. They have 3 members stacked in A. And if they do this fast enough or find these picks, they might be able to successfully get right in towards the spawn of Full Sail.
Comes down to what happens with these picks right outside the cafe doors. Some will see one come through, takes his time, lines up the shots, finds Slip,
oh
turns
my
on the
God.
corner. Oh boy, that's not what you wanted if you're the Volunteers, as they lose 4 very quickly. Velux will double up at the end, and Full Sail Armada hold off the mid-map, mostly off the back end of some SMGs. And now it puts UTK's backs up against the wall, as they are now currently on map point.
Wow, that snap shift, that was quite the shots that come through. Here's the door, turns around, no hesitation. Prism showing up big in the map number 2 thus far. You said it. Now round away from closing out, going up to UTK Esports. They got a lot of utility to work with. You see 3 dead silences in 1 trophy system. They can look to make a big play. Instead, they're going to try and maneuver over towards A, shut down the push that has been very strong, and that will be Connor, who does find a first blood onto Phoenix. It will at least put the stop to the push for the time being, but as I say that, Velux and Fluffy are going to connect with 3 together.
And again, it's going to be down to what happens for now. Just C-Short. I was going to say Goose on the flank could have made something happen, but Full Sail, too much pressure through the A bomb site. 6-3 the score. And we framed it up. And I don't mean to hit it too hard here, Austin, but being down 2 maps against Full Sail going into a domination is definitely a scary task ahead of this UTK squad.
Yeah, that's definitely one way you can put it. It's scary, nightmare, however you want to frame it up. It's not looking good heading in towards map 3. You have a 6-3 record for this squad for UTK in domination, 57% win rate, and of course, the other side, no losses in this game. Well, this has by far been the strongest game mode for Full Sail. They have a very strong idea on how they like to play the map. The submachine guns get to positions that you just wouldn't expect half of the time, and they're able to find these multi-kills that are just such a big factor. But also, it's the big thing for me is that they understand the game mode in the sense that they know when to go for neutralizations. They know when to play for their life and how to play and set up with pushes. That's the biggest factor coming in towards a game mode like domination that they clearly understand. And UTK Esports, it doesn't seem like thus far in towards the season that they understand this game mode on the same level that Full Sail do.
And again, early on, this was the kind of the bane of the existence of UTK. They have not beaten a major team up in the standings in domination in the Southeast, really just the exception of Florida State and Arkansas. But beyond that, again, they had a very close series versus Georgia Southern. It was a 2-point domination in week number 4. It just hopes that, again, you go into this matchup, you have to hope that you're riding some kind of a hot streak on domination, and with another close loss that they suffered just the last time they played against University of Louisiana Lafayette, a 4-point loss there. Again, it kind of seems to be the thorn in their side when they're playing up against these major teams in the Southeast. It has been domination, and again, that just piles on to the current travesty, which is you have to play domination now against the squad that has not lost domination with this Full Sail squad. So definitely a tall task for them to order up. But I won't say their whole season obviously doesn't rely on them taking this domination, but if they want to have a chance at moving up the seedings in the Southeast, this is one that you need to hopefully start to put together a reverse sweep in.
This is the team you have to beat. And if we start talking about how they will do this reverse sweep, well, I think of it, maybe we see Full Sail get a little bit complacent and we see them, all right, guys, we're going into our domination on Gunrunner. This is our bread and butter. We got this one in the bag. This is a 3-0. Maybe you start getting ahead of yourselves. A little overconfidence plays a factor. I mean, that's what you're certainly hoping for UTK at the very least, is that a little overconfidence will maybe play a factor for this map number 3. But you're absolutely right, Schiff. This team is not, unbeatable by any means. They have a lot loss towards a team that is currently ranked 1, but they have shown, you know, some weaknesses here and there. They have lit up on the gas pedal in some of their respawn game modes, and that is an opportunity for UTK to try and find an advantage and start to get this reverse sweep going. But if you're going to do this, you have to look at some of your key players to really bring this domination to a whole new level, and you need consistency through the entire board from all of these players if you're going to do it.
Yeah, and again, you talk about this Full Sail squad going map 5 versus Georgia Southern. They kind of smoked them on the domination. So
it did.
Again, it's just the extra adversity to be dealing up with when you play up against the Full Sail squad. But we mentioned Gunrunner, much more of a balanced map when it comes to domination as a mode in whole. And so I guess maybe a little bit more opportunity for UTK. You know, you don't necessarily have to sit here and say, okay, we're going into this half, we have to hold this side of the map for us to have a chance. You could play around a little bit more with the map itself. It just, for me, comes down to, can they keep up in the slaying department so that way they can start to make those decisions? Because Full Sail will get aggressive against you, and if they're finding kills behind that, you only get one choice from that point on. Full Sail will force you into making the one specific choice, and it's usually not a good one. So it's going to be interesting, I think, to see if UTK can at least come out the gate swinging versus Full Sail squad. We kind of said the same thing, that's what they needed to do in the AZHIR Cave hardpoint. Wasn't really fully found for them. It didn't really come to fruition. They ended up going to a little bit of a 50-50 between hardpoint 1 and hardpoint 2, but I feel like going into domination on Gunrunner, if you do not come out swinging versus Full Sail squad, they'll put you down.
They'll put you down quick. They can get it done. The squad has everything they need to be able to do this in this game mode. And even just to take a quick look at the stat line, I mean, I think Velux is got to be holding one of the highest stat lines in this game mode shift. You know, 2.0 KD, like 2.02, pretty insane. But everyone across the board, 1.56, 1.63 for Prism, for Danger, who is not in the roster tonight, but you still have Sneaky and Fluffy, these players that have 1.2s, 1.3s. The squad's so good. They have to try and get this continuation going for them in towards map number 3. You look to some players on the opposite side of the roster. I think of Connor. We mentioned him as a flex. You have to kind of really show us what you're capable of doing in this map right here, right now. I look towards, you know, maybe even seeing Slayin start to be a little bit of a factor for us, but it's certainly a problem going into map 3 that they're going to have to solve. And if they don't, well, they come out with a 3-0 loss.
We'll find out exactly what occurs when we come back. We'll be jumping into map number 3. Don't go too far. UTK looking to set up potentially a reverse sweep versus Full Sail, and goodness, would they like it. We'll be back with Gunrunner domination right after this. Welcome back to the CCL. We're going to map number 3. The Full Sail Armada currently enjoying a 2-map lead over the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. It was a close AZHIR Cave. The search and destroy had its moments, but UTK was rather convincingly out of it. How about this? Fluffy changing up the meta as far as what the weapon loadouts are going to look like for a moment there. But UTK will be able to battle back, even spread so far as it continues to be a back and forth battle for the B flag.
Yes, Proper would say that's a loadout right out of campaign mode. But Connor looks to move on through. We'll find a couple of kills over the middle of the map here. Clears out the bathrooms area, draws some pressure back to the home flag for Full Sail Armada. So great work from him. He's keeping himself alive, playing his life. And you can see it. All these players from Full Sail are just trying to scout out where this player is. And he's going to now make his move in towards a potential neutralization. But in the back will be Prism. He finds the big kill. Goose Fava able to take down one that's pushing on in. So 2 flags holding strong for UTK, but next push about to break through for Full Sail.
And again, this is a wonderful setup for the University of Tennessee. Although nobody has scouted out Prism, he's behind. He finds one on the pinch. He's looking for a second. He'll grab that one too. And now Phoenix, who is pinching it up with him, that'll be enough to break the B flag. So Prism, who is the player to really help deal with the C flag, turns around, makes his way through mid-map. Nobody for UTK scouts him out, and that'll be a B flip going in favor of the Full Sail Armada.
Fluffy laying down, lands good shots onto 1, trying to find 2. Just playing his life behind the minecart. Nade's gonna throw him outside. So has to wait for his teammates, likely before he looks to push in next. Connor's holding that closed door. He jumps on out. He's going to re-challenge. He's going to take down 1, but teammate in the back is going to find the trade. Securing the point is going to be Full Sail. They do grab the 2 flag finally. They're going to hold on to this once again. Slim tries to entry in with his teams in the back, but Velux is holding strong with the nades, finding all these gunfights, and now Full Sail starting to push up for map movement.
And this is where things could get dangerous for UTK. If they allow people to exist and boiler it into coal carts, they're going to have, again, only one decision to make to try to push through. Either you're going to be going over and try to push through these kills, or the only other option as far as rotation would be try to win out gunfights through the woods side of the map. Neither real choice is very, very good, as Prism will continue to snap onto players. He's 5-3 now as he finds himself 2 kills straight. Will be cut down, but at least for UTK, you've worked your way out of your spawn and can start making some headway across the map.
Not easy to do, but slowly but surely they will try and get it done. Attacking the B lane time and time again can just allow you to get trapped right in towards your spawn. But we see one player make the overextension. He wins his gunfight, so Connor looks to be that nuisance on towards the home flag once again. Stainless moves up, finds a big kill in towards the boiler room. Has one behind the minecart, finds 2 now. Might open up for an opportunity for 3, and he does. So this is a big opportunity for UTK to look for a home flag as they wipe Full Sail Armada on the map.
And Fluffy is continuing to pull out the growl. Again, that's the weapon that he's been using, in case you didn't recognize it in the kill feed. It's interesting because it definitely still has the power of an AR using the 5.56 bullets, but it just feels strange to see it. Again, I'm not sure what the attachment loadout he's using on it is, but it's provided him a 5 and 6 total so far, as Full Sail will be forced to see a couple of split spawns come through. Now it looks like they'll more convincingly spawn behind A. But for UTK, while all of this flipping back and forth has happened, they've held on to the B flag, and that'll be enough for them if they hold on to it to absolutely retake the lead by the end of the first half.
Connor's feeling himself. Good shots coming through with a nice snap. And this 2 cap is being held. Might just have to see that that gun go away because it's not being very successful. Connor keeping the streak going. He's on 6, 11, and 4. Has them now flipped in towards the A spawn as B and C being held. Connor's finding good shots across. Finally, the kills come through as I believe he stopped at 7. Z-Short looks to now replace what Connor was doing. Fluffy still holding strong with his loadout, however. He wants to try and get some work done, show us that it can work. He's 6 and 8, so not having the most successful map in the domination, but Phoenix and Sneaky and Velux, they all move on through. Full wipe for UTK. No trades come out, and this might even just be a 3 cap about to drop here for Full Sail.
Yeah, they sent 2 players over to the C flag, so it was a quick neutralization. C-Short took care of Velux before the full capture could come through, but again, no progress being made on the scoreboard right now for UTK. Now Sneaky wants to play distraction over by C to try to keep this flag neutral for as long as possible. He'll eventually get traded by Connor, but again, the damage has been dealt, and it looks like Full Sail Armada should leave this first half with a lead. Maybe a marginal one, right around 11 points. If the flags stay as they currently do, which it looks like they will. But not a bad first half for UTK. They've shown some presence across really every facet of the map. It just came down to that one unfortunate moment where they were really getting stuck behind the warehouse spawns, where they had a hard time working their way out. But they still turned it into a pretty decent exit as they were able to capture 2 flags in the back end. Stainless had a really good first half as well, as this one of his many multi-kills per life. But Full Sail Armada still, again, holding on to 11-point lead.
I feel like it's not too bad. UTK Esports, again, this is not one of their stronger game modes. I believe they're 10 and 6 overall. We have Full Sail, who have not dropped a domination thus far towards the season, and having 11-point differential going in towards silent number 2. You got to be feeling at least pretty okay for UTK Esports. Still very winnable, and they seem to still be mentally in it. But first nades come down. Sneaky finds first blood. Trophy systems being thrown out as the attack about to approach here for UTK Esports. A couple of kills do drop, but no real control around the flag as Full Sail are having more members in this coal area. Goose Faba trying to hold this positioning, but Sneaky moved on in and took down that kill. So C and B likely to go over towards Full Sail. Also, we saw a bit of a play over towards C, a neutralization for player number 6, I believe, or player number 5, trying to get that done. So yeah, Prism's just, again, being that nuisance on the home flag. They're going to try and grab it back, but he's continuing to keep the pressure on.
And this was the side of the map that UTK looked the least comfortable. Speaking of not comfortable, that was a very awkward 1v1 through the bathroom doors, which he technically won before Phoenix took it down by way of team nade. UTK trying to win back the B flag. They've got numbers. It's Slim again. It's an M4 going up against that growl at range. Seems to be winning it more often than not. He'll also move further forward, watching the box. We'll see a couple players shoulder peeking. Would love to see a player for UTK pinch up the middle of the map here, and that's going to be exactly the case, but Goose only takes down 1. It's Connor who is the last one left for a play at A, and now all of a sudden, Full Sail have the numbers to potentially retake the B flag.
talked about consistency. You need to see it right now. The UTK roster, everybody needs to step up. They're keeping things pretty close in the domination. That's a big factor, but players like Sneaky, like Prism, understanding the game mode better. They're moving in towards the home flags. They're neutralizing it. Now, no points are coming through on the board for UTK, excuse me, as Sneaky is going to now reposition, look to take this player off of the flag. Could have to battle through two. Takes a good amount of shots, has some good positioning, but can't find the actual kills. Prism is there for 3 with a very nice snap. Luckily, C-Short will come out, but this is just constant pressure on the home flags that UTK is struggling to deal with.
And again, you know, what set all this up for Full Sail was the fact that UTK set 4 players across the 50-yard line trying to make a play at A. None of them found kills, leaving Stainless by himself defending B. And will eventually, UTK will pick themselves up by their bootstraps and try to make a play over here at B. Velux, though, needs to find a 3rd kill. Will eventually drop, but he's got support of the, again, Fluffy with the growl in the back end, holding on to this B flag. So now with 2:20 left to play, at about a 22-point game, UTK needs to get this B flag now, and it's going to be maybe taken. This comes down to if Goose can find this final kill, he will. But this is the right play. You don't go for the B flag neutral right now. You push forward. You try to get another wave of kills off the spawn. There will be one, and he holds on to his life, and now the reinforcements for the Volunteers are here, and they will start to neutralize and hopefully flip this flag in their favor, and they'll do just that.
But look at C, player number 4. Sneaky's trying to grab that. Might even look to go for the full cap, and you can hold A and C on it, but Sneaky backs off, looks to play his life. So he draws pressure, and while all that happens, this is going to open up for Full Sail to move right back into B control. 4 members strong around B area. There's no one here to take them off of this neutralization, so it's going to go through. But as I say that, Slim, and as well as everybody actually wins their one-on-one gunfights, and they're actually going to shut down Full Sail.
Full cap here.
They do get the full cap. They're going to hold on for 2, but they have to move towards the A flag, and they're going to get the neutralization, it looks like.
You have to have a really solid solo play here. I believe that's going to be Slim. That it's Connor, actually, part of me that was sitting by the C bathrooms. He really needed to win another gunfight to try to give a little bit more time. It's a 21-point game, and you need a neutralization at some point in time if you're UTK. 2 flags is not enough, but they're getting pressured here at B. And it's just down to Sneaky and trying to hold on to things. Connor will find a team kill, but he does find one more. And for Full Sail, now it's just beat Pesky. Can you find a way to put some pressure on the A flag and keep UTK from ever finding this neutralization? The player at A, though, gets dealt with. And now there are numbers in the bathroom for UTK. They need to win this fight and take this neutralization. They get a couple of clean kills, and they could potentially actually full cap this, but Phoenix and Velux will clean things up. The flag never gets fully neutralized, and now we're down to 30 seconds, and we're about to hit mathematically impossible for UTK unless they get a triple cap here now.
No, they have the neutralization right now. This is actually still winnable. They only have 10 points. They can do this. That's the 3 cap that comes through. Full Sail might be experiencing their first loss in domination in the season. 154 to 150. The points are being captured. C is going to go over. A couple of extra points are going to come in. I think it might just be out. The neutralization has to come in now, but I don't think it'll be enough. It'll leave us maybe at just 1 point deficit, but this was close shift. 157 to 156 will be our final score. You have to think if you're UTK, you hold on for just an extra second there, you find 1 extra kill, and that makes the differential.
My goodness. A couple of really tight moments. Wow. That was about as tight as, actually it is as tight as it gets, but that last finishing play, if you just have, again, that little small moment of an extra bit of neutralization, it definitely could have happened to send us to a map 4, but like you mentioned, it was, again, the power of Full Sail on domination reigning through as they get themselves still undefeated in the mode, just barely. And for UTK, they will drop 0-3 in the series. And again, kind of final thoughts on this one here. What does this do for the playoff standings? Georgia Southern, Full Sail, and Louisiana Tech going into this weekend were already secured playoff spots. Everybody else technically still needed to fight for them. And remember back, because Mississippi State did beat Ole Miss, they're still in the 9th position at 10-6. But guess who's right there with them? UTK will be in the 8th position at 10-6. Again, their final matchup will be against Concord Gray. You figure they win that. But for Mississippi State, they've got to find a way to beat the University of Louisiana Lafayette, who's also at 10-5. So there's potential for us to have a couple of 11-6s here to finish off the Southeastern Division, which would put things not necessarily to a head-to-head tiebreaker. It would put things to a map count differential because Florida State, they're 9-5. They've got 3 games left to play. They figure they should beat LSU, who's not a bad team, but they've also got to play Alabama and Arkansas, who are also sitting near the top of the division. So we've got a really tight ending here in the Southeast. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. If you guys are playing your games on Thursday or next Tuesday, or if you're not, rather, play them so we can stream them. The storylines are going to be massive coming into the final days here of our CCL regular season.
Yeah, I agree. Reach out, try and get those games streamed. We'll take one final look at our last series here on the night. Full Sail Armada, of course, took the very close AZHIR Cape, 250-213. There was some ups and downs for both teams in the St. Petrograd, but a 6-3 win for them. And then the nail-biter domination, just the fact that they were points away, seconds away even, if you would, of actually dropping their very first domination map within the regular season is definitely something to think about. But Full Sail, they hold on nonetheless with the 3-0 and just, again, keeping themselves in that second seed. That is the most important thing going forward. But you mentioned a lot of teams up in the air for a shift. A lot of things can literally shift around up and down throughout this bracket. And it is obviously just pure excitement on who is really going to make it in.
Exactly the case. Well, that's going to do things for our coverage here this evening. Coming up on Thursday, a lot happening in the Midwest as St. Clair will play up against the Illini Blue Squad. St. Clair still looking to hopefully get themselves a secured top 8 position. We've also got the University of Illinois, the Illini Orange Squad, playing up against Purdue. That'll be a Big Ten rivalry with a lot of implications as far as who finishes in the top 3. And then to close out the evening, we'll get Grand Canyon playing up against Arizona State, a good one out west. So make sure we see you back here on Thursday. Don't go too far. Hit the follow button. Make sure you hit @CollegeCod on Twitter as well. And until then, we'll hope you guys have a wonderful mid part of your week. And until next time, hope you guys keep holding it down. So long.